Hi, it's Melinda, Melinda Kunst from Hope When There Was None. How are you this morning? It is a beautiful Sunday, a little dreary and rainy, but that's okay here in the Midwest in Indiana. So, what I wanted to talk to you about today, well, giving permission. Okay, but let's talk first. If you haven't joined me before, I'm going to throw on some links here, but I'll also have these a little bit later in the comment section. I am with Hope When There Was None. I started this page many moons ago, and what I did was I was looking for an outlet to provide maybe some self-care, also some information and education about domestic violence, emotional traumas, and so on. So that's why I started this page, Hope When There Was None. But then it kind of grew into something where I was like, I need to do something else. So then I started a group that's actually the Survivors Cafe, where it's for women only at this point in time. And it might stay that way. I thought about branching off another group just for guys, but I have found several others on Facebook that are just for men. So if anybody's interested in those links, let me know. I would message me privately and I'll be happy to put those down for you. Also, if you're looking for information about my books, they are on Amazon. I'm just kind of going through these really quick. I will have these in the comment section. And also, Linktree is probably the easiest way to get to all of these. But again, I'll be sharing that soon. And I do have a podcast, which I started pretty recently. I went through my videos that I have on here in order to get them started. And I've had new episodes weekly. Do have many amazing guests, inspiring stories, as well as just some information you might not be aware of. So if you're new to my page, you haven't heard anything about me, by all means, don't hesitate to message me privately. I am on, the third year of sharing my very first podcast interview. That was today, 3 years ago. That was on then. It was called The Bill and Cali Show. And it was a very transformative journey for me because, well, first of all, I was nervous. My hands were sweaty. I had a hot flash in the studio. I mean, I was dripping sweat. A lot of it was nerves. And then also, I really was trying to just say the right words. I asked God to just empower me before that. Please give me the right words. Make sure that I just don't draw a blank. I was also a little nervous about doing this in such a big way. And it just was really powerful. It was a very powerful experience for me. And since then, I've learned so much about myself, evolving, healing, continuing that healing journey, as well as meeting some dynamic people. I've made quite a few friends over the years that are either supporters, advocates, or they themselves are victims and now turned survivors. So it's been just a beautiful journey. And I encourage you to come along with me, no matter what your emotional hurt there. It could be that you've suffered a miscarriage, a divorce. It could be that you've had maybe an attempted suicide, or you've had a loss from suicide, or just a loss. I don't say just a loss, but you know what I mean. We do cover many of those different hurts, grief, and so on as well. Not only that, but I do focus a lot on domestic violence, since that's something that I have experience with. I definitely have. But a lot of the other traumas that we do talk about are personal and private for me, because I have suffered miscarriages. I have had abortions. I have had that divorce. I've had that grief of losing somebody very close to me. And so a lot of these things that I do talk about, bring guests on and so on, are really hitting close to home. So let's talk about permission. What do I mean about that? So giving permission, what are you talking about, Melinda? Well, today I'm talking about giving permission to yourself. Many times we don't give ourselves permission to do things, to say things, or experience things out of fear. Perhaps you are one that always puts people first. You're a people pleaser. So you tend to not do things for yourself, or buy things for yourself, or just do things for yourself. So today's all about giving yourself permission to do that. And here's a few tips to get you started. Now, you're not alone. I've been there, done that. And even just to accept, giving myself permission to accept a compliment when someone says, "Hey, you look great today." I had a lot of trouble with that. I would quickly, when someone would say something really nice to me, I would quickly say, "Oh, this whole thing," or "No, my hair," I would give some sort of, they would give me a compliment and I would downplay it, or I would take that power away from them, whoever was maybe buying me coffee or whatever. Oh, you don't have to do that. I always felt that I had to do that. And I know I still struggle with this because I met with a friend yesterday. And while we were talking, I don't know, she said, "Oh, you look great." And I was like, "Oh no, I've gained a few pounds." And I know I did it. I did, I totally did it. And then I even mentioned that. I said, "I know I did it because I did just recently get my haircut. And I did it before and after on Facebook. And maybe, okay, did my before and then afterwards, like half hour or whatever afterwards, I did my after. I left it up there for 10 minutes. And then I thought to myself, is this vain? I was just having this battle within myself. This seems like it's very vain of me to go ahead and put these pictures up here. So I took them down. Yeah, I did it. So these are things that I even still struggle with. And when you're on a healing journey, it's not perfect. I'm still going through the motions. I am still healing. I am still doing that self-care, that self-love. I know I need to do that. I've had a lot of programming, but you know what? Negative programming, honestly, even if you haven't been in an abusive situation, you may have issues with this, giving yourself that permission and so on. So trust yourself to make good choices. Many times we just don't trust our instinct. We just don't believe enough in ourselves to make that choice of whatever it is. Maybe you just don't feel that you make good choices. So I want you to try to intentionally even say to yourself, I make good choices. I make good choices. I make well-informed choices. You might have to start doing some affirmations. Consider doing affirmations, just some positive talk in order to get rid of that negative. Don't seek out others for approval. Do you do that? Are you immediately, okay, I want to go to, I'm going to go bike across America. Now, this is still a dream of mine on bicycle. I'm going to bike across America. And then I start asking people for, do you think it's a good idea? What are your thoughts? And I even thought about starting a not-for-profit. And I was given some information by a few gals that I reached out to, and they were discouraging. And even the biking across America, it was discouraging to me. Like they weren't doing it on purpose, but the information that they gave me was very discouraging. Like I even talked with Coach once, and I says, I want to be a public speaker around the world. And, she's like, well, why don't you just get on a plane and do it? And it's like, well, I have irrational fear of flying. And she's like, well, you'll never make it. And that just discouraged me so much. She's like, you'll have to get over that. Like, wow, really? And then I know getting out on the internet, that's been changed, of course. Now we're doing so many things from the internet. So and I really believed wholeheartedly that I can do this even by the power of the web. So, and that's how I've been doing it. I've been actually getting international speaking podcasts, whatever. My message has been getting there just by the web. So if you put it out there, it will happen in a positive way, a positive light. Remember, whatever you're thinking, whatever you say to yourself, that goes out into the world. So if I were to change it and say, well, maybe she's right, I'll never be an international speaker. I'll never get onto other platforms. If I take that in, it's never going to happen. So actually saying those words that, yeah, I am going to do this. And it might have to be a pivot, but I am going to be that international speaker. I am going to get on different platforms worldwide. So just by I can't remember what the quote is, but basically whatever you're speaking there, you're putting that out into the universe. So if you're speaking negatively, I'll never be able to do this, I can't do this, you won't be able to. Your body is physically going to say, okay, you can't. And that's even with healing. And that's been a lot of my Lyme journey, is just making sure that I have that positive thought that I am going to heal. I will heal. Ask God from the top of my head, heal me from the top of my head to the soles of my feet. So that is something that I know I need to do, that I need to believe. And I do. I believe wholeheartedly that I will be healed all the way through from everything. So again, don't seek out approval from others. You don't need to, because trust yourself. You are making wise decisions. I believe in you. So ask yourself, why do you feel like you can't give yourself permission? Why is it you feel this way? What is it? What's triggering to you? What are those roadblocks? So you might have to dig by. You might say, okay, well, I can't do this because I don't have a way there. Okay, well, why don't you have a way there? Is there a way you can get yourself there? So you might have to pick this question apart, your answer there. You might have to pick that apart. And, well, good morning, Miss Roberta. Well, thank you for loving my do. I appreciate it. Good morning, sunshine. So you might even consider, and I've done this many times. Probably can't see my heart there. We're going to throw this down a little bit. So I put my hand over my heart, and sometimes I'll do two, and just say, I love you, Melinda. I love you. I believe in you. I trust you. I encourage you. You are amazing. You are courageous. You are enough. Sometimes I need to say this. And you might even have to say the ho'oponopono, and I might be saying that wrong. I'm sorry if I am. But that is to say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I love you. That is some Hawaiian mantra, prayer, if you want, whatever you want to call that. And I apologize if I'm saying it horribly wrong. That is a forgiveness prayer. It's a ritual that people do. You can think of yourself. You can think of somebody else, some kind of mantra or words in order to find that forgiveness for you or for that other person. Remember, it's based on responsibility and taking that responsibility and you don't want to take that responsibility for everything, but sometimes you do. You take that upon yourself. So using this ritual, and I know many people that have been healed by that, by just saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, and thank you. It's been very healing. So allow yourself that. Give yourself that prayer, or whatever you want to just cover yourself with the blood of Christ. You do that too. That there's power in the blood. So do that and ask God to release that, whatever hurts those are, whatever's stopping you in order to make that decision, whatever it is you want to give yourself permission for. So go ahead and ask. Now, also saying I want rather than I have to, because when you say this, it helps release that energy in order for you to do what you want to do and do what you love and what you're meant to be. So just flipping that switch again, saying I want rather than I have to, because I know it's like I have to do the dishes. I know that's totally different for me than when I say I want to do the dishes, or I want to pay my bills. I love to pay my bills. I love to do the dishes. I have dishes in there. I have dishes in the sink to wash. That means we had food in the fridge. I have bills. Well, that means I was able to keep the lights on. I'm able to pay those bills. Things like that. Just flipping that switch, being a little more positive with these. Again, this will go a long way. It really will. I'd like for you to do me a favor and make a list of things that maybe you want to do or what you would like others to do for you. And in doing so, you can kind of chip away at this list, even invite a friend if you want to do this whole journey with somebody that maybe have you accountable for. But what would you like others to do for you? And sometimes you end up just doing them by yourself instead. But what would you like? You do those for other people rather than do them for you. What would you like those people to do for you? Would you like them to buy you coffee, buy you flowers? What are some things that you would like others to do for you? Or what have you always wanted to do? Make a list and then go ahead and prioritize. Okay, maybe you want to jump out of an airplane. Well, start thinking, well, what do I need in order to jump out of the airplane? Can I do some research? Ask my friends, what is a good place to do this at? Just start that momentum, start going, and you'll get excited to do this. So give yourself that permission just to make that list. Go ahead and let it be as long as you would like it to be. Now, giving yourself permission to heal, to rest, to forgive, even for yourself. These are things that you can do for you. It can also be that you are trusting yourself. You're making those wise decisions. Again, establishing boundaries. Maybe you haven't given yourself permission in order to do any of those. So this is something big. And these are just little things, little baby steps that you can start taking in order to start giving yourself permission. And this can really go a long way, because sometimes when we don't give ourselves permission, we lose out on things. We don't test out the waters on different things we've always wanted. Perhaps you've always wanted to start that not-for-profit. And if you were like me, you had someone give you some advice and it just discouraged you, so you didn't. Perhaps you've wanted to go on that airplane and jump out of it, but you've heard from different friends that are like, oh, you can't do that. It's very dangerous or something like that. Well, you know what? There's a lot of people, including my beautiful, brave sister, Miss Ashley O, who have done that. They survived. They're okay. She can't wait to do it again. Shh, don't tell my mom. So there are so many things out there that you can give yourself permission to do. And I really would like you to try. And if you do any of these tips, let me know. I'd love to know if any of these resonated with you, or have you already started giving yourself permission? And what does that look like for you? Now, coming up on August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, I'm going to be hosting my very first self-love challenge. It's a 3-day challenge. It'll be in a private Facebook group. And if it's anything that you're interested in, by all means, let me know. Send me a message here, Facebook, Melinda Kunst. Send me a message on there. I'm saying there because I'm going to put this on the podcast. So just send me a shout out. Let me know if it's something that you're interested in. And we're going to go a little bit deeper down the road, but this is just to start a 3-day self-love challenge. It is for free. You just need to bring some paper, a pen, and just an open heart. So this is Melinda. I'm going to sign off for today's Soulful Sunday. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here on Tuesday for Teachable Tuesday. Have a great rest of your day, wherever you are in the world. I love you. I'm going to sprinkle some blessings, some magic, and miracles for you for the rest of the week. Bye.